Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to continue with India-China relations. It's been a week and we have talked about the first part of it, the phase of relationship and a few things about the mapping. Today we are going to talk about the more important topic, that is the bilateral issues. Because when it comes to India-China's relations, what is the more important thing is bilateral issues, because issues are more than the areas of cooperation. Okay, so in bilateral issues, the first issue which comes is the territorial disputes. Actually, now let me show you in the map first. See, the in India, this is China, this is and this is India. There are three portions. Actually, India, China sharing borders. It has been divided into three portions. One is this western sector, which actually talks about the Ladakh region. Then is the central sector or the middle sector, which talks about the areas of Himachal, Uttarakhand and Sikkim. This is the middle sector. And then there is this eastern sector, which is basically talking about the Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. So now, what is the dispute when it comes to the western sector? Actually, let me make it one thing very clear. The dispute is majorly in the region of western sector and the eastern sector. And the central sector, if we talk about, that is more or less undisputed one. Okay. So, coming to the western sector. Western sector, it's about the Aksai Chin region. Okay, so it's about the Aksai Chin region. I have shown you Aksai Chin region in the last class as well. Let's go to that map only. Okay, so Aksai Chin region. Okay, see this line. I'm sorry. When we talk about it, this line, this is the line of actual control, जिसे हम LAC भी बोलते हैं. ओके, इसका जो अपर रीजन है ना, ये दिस रीजन इज अक्साई चिन रीजन. दिस इज अ डिस्प्यूटेड टेरिटरी बिटवीन इंडिया एंड चाइना. जो LAC के ईस्टर्न साइड पर है, दैट इज अ डिस्प्यूटेड रीजन बिटवीन इंडिया एंड चाइना इन द वेस्टर्न सेक्टर. ओके, सो दिस इज इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग. अब यहाँ पर दो चीजें और पता होनी चाहिए कि when Britishers were there in India, even they were trying to resolve this issue, but this issue was not resolved. Actually, China was not responding to them. So basically, it was this thing कि there were two lines. One is the Johnson line, other is the McDonald's line. Johnson line, this says that Aksai Chin to be the part of India, and McDonald's line is there where it says Aksai Chin to be the part of China. This is an important fact. You must remember it from the prelims perspective. Okay, so this is what it was. In the Ladakh region, Britishers tried to resolve, but Chinese side did not respond. So that's why this issue is still, basically we can say, disputed region. Okay, so Johnson's line and McDonald's line, basically you should remember about this fact. India believes that Aksai Chin is the part of India, whereas China says that it is the extension of Tibetan Plateau, so it should be the part of China. So that's why this dispute is there. Okay, this is about the western sector. When we talk about middle sector or the central sector, this is more of undisputed region, but there is this one place which should be remembered. Just wait for a second, let me erase it first. So when we talk about this middle sector, it's basically this Barahuti. It's the region where a skirmish took place between India and China in the middle sector. So this must be remembered, and this Chumbi Valley. These are the two regions which you should remember about the middle sector. Otherwise, the middle sector is more of undisputed one. Now, when it comes to the eastern sector, now ईस्टर्न सेक्टर में आ जाता है अरुणाचल प्रदेश. अब यहाँ पर द लाइन विच वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट इज ब्रिटिशर्स ट्राई टू रिजॉल्व दिस इशू एज वेल, बट अगेन China was not interested. Basically, this Shimla conference took place in 1914. Here, all the three parties were there. Three parties, which three parties I am talking about? India, China, and Tibet. So all these three parties were the part of it, but Chinese left in between. So basically this agreement, 1914 Shimla agreement, this was signed between the Tibet government at that time and India, the Britishers basically. So this was signed between them only, and this led to this line. This line is McMahon line. Do remember the spelling. It is not McMahon, it's McMahon, M-A-H-O-N. So this line is there which tells basically Arunachal to be the part of India. Okay, this was the line, but China do not agree to it. So because of which there are issues between India and China, because Chinese consider this Arunachal Pradesh to be a part of they consider it to be the part of Tibet only. So basically that's why they are saying. So this Tawang region is the region where a kind of skirmish took place between India and China. So this is something a place which you should remember. Okay, so this is about the eastern sector. अब reason क्या क्या है? I have already told you about the reason, but let's read. Aksai Chin की बात कर रहे थे. अब why Aksai Chin disputed क्यों है? Why China is having a claim over such a region? It's because it is providing all-weather route between Tibet and Xinjiang province of China. So that's why this is of importance to China. But when it comes to India, it's more of strategic importance. Its importance is basically, otherwise अगर Aksai Chin का region China के पास चला जाता है तो basically we will say कि direct link हो जाएगा. China will be more closer to Pakistan. So basically we are having this strategic importance of Aksai Chin region. So and for China, it's that it is going to provide all-weather route between Tibet and Xinjiang. And when it comes to Arunachal, why China is having the claims over Arunachal region? Tawang, China says that it is an inalienable from China's Tibet. Why does it say that? The reason is it's home to second largest Tibetan Buddhist monastery in the world. This is the reason like which they give, that it is an inalienable part of China's Tibet. Then is the fertile tracts of Tawang Valley, and then hydroelectric potential of Arunachal. So these are the various reasons that China has claims over the Arunachal region. Okay, so this was about basically this territorial dispute. Now what India is doing in order to resolve these issues? So basically in order to resolve, see, this issue is not being actually resolved. The thing is that both the countries are building infrastructure in the bordering areas. Okay, one is this building infra. India is also doing it. I have shown you in the map as well, from Leh to Daulat Beg Old So that road which is being built by border road organization. So basically infrastructure is being built by India, and the same thing is being done in the Arunachal region as well. Okay, so these are the steps India is taking. Now let me give you a homework as well. There is one scheme which is basically for the bordering villages which are basically sharing borders between India and China. India और China के bordering villages जो है ना, like between on the Indian side जो China के साथ border कर रही है region, वहाँ के जो villages हैं, there is a scheme for that. Name that particular scheme if you know about it in the comment section. Okay, so do find out about the scheme, and if you don't know, just let me know. I'll tell you about that particular scheme. So that particular scheme is also there for the, basically we can say, for the villages which are on the borders. Okay, So this is about the territorial disputes, how India is increasing its infrastructure building in the region. Okay. Now, next, this is about the territorial disputes and what India is doing, building infrastructure, and also a scheme is there for the development of the bordering villages. You have to name that particular scheme. Okay. So now the another thing is about the dams on river Brahmaputra. So now let's first talk about river Brahmaputra. So this is the map. The origin is from the near the Mansarovar Lake. The origin is there. This is called as Yarlung Sangpo or Yarlung Zangbo in Tibet. Then it takes a U-turn where it when it enters Arunachal. This is called as Siang River, and when Lohit River and Lohit River and Dibang River, when they join it after in Assam, after that it is known as the Brahmaputra River. Then it is called as Padma, Meghna in when it enters Bangladesh, it is called as the first Jamuna. When Ganga joins it, it is called as Padma, and when Barak joins it, it is called as Meghna. Okay, so this is how the naming of Brahmaputra river is. So this is about Brahmaputra river. Now we can clearly see that China is an upper riparian state. So definitely it is having more advantage of the river basically when it comes to. So basically China is at the advantageous position because it is the upper riparian state, and India and Bangladesh, they are the lower riparian states of the Brahmaputra river. Okay, so now when it comes to dam building, why is it a kind of a problem for India? Okay, now it has earlier built dams on the upper and the middle reaches of the river. Earlier it has built the dam on the upper and the middle reaches, but now the issue is that it is building dams on the lower reaches as well. It was in the 14th 5-year plan from 21 to 25, 2021 to 2025, that there is this plan of building dams on the lower reaches of the river as well. Like basically this project is there where 60 gigawatt of hydroelectric power will be generated by this particular project in the Medong County, which is basically near to the region where it is where Brahmaputra is entering Arunachal. So it's at that particular point this dam is being built. So basically this is a kind of problem for India. Why this is a problem? How is it going to impact if this 60 gigawatt hydroelectric project or this large dam will be built in the particular region? It may reduce the flow of water to India. Okay, it may reduce. Why we are saying this? Because it's more of the thing ki Brahmaputra, when it enters India, it is more of dependent on the rainfall. So that's why we are saying that it may reduce the river. And especially when it comes to the dry season, that's when the situation might get worse. And when it comes to the monsoon season, any kind of sudden release of water during the monsoon season is going to worsen the situation, because already हमें पता है कि during the monsoon season how much bad situation it is there because of the floods in Assam. But and if a dam will be built and sudden release of water will be there, it is going to worsen the already worse situation. So this is one of the things. Then this region is definitely Himalayan region is there. We are aware that it's an ecologically sensitive zone. It's seismologically active region as well. So that's why this is also a matter of concern for India. Okay, if this dam is basically going to be built. Now, what is India's response? India is considering to build 10 gigawatt hydroelectric power plant in the Dibang Valley, basically, so that in order that storage of water can take place, and in case particularly we can say that in the dry season the water can be used. So India's response is this. Then are there any provisions which are already there between India and China for the water sharing of Brahmaputra? Yes, a memorandum of understanding is there. Government of India signed a 5-year memorandum of understanding in 2002 in exchange for China providing hydrological information on Brahmaputra river during the flood season. So this memorandum of understanding was signed, and this has been extended as well in 2008, 13 and 18 as well. So China is providing hydrological data, and we have signed this for the exchange of hydrological data between the two countries. According to the memorandum of understanding, Chinese side regularly provide hydrological data to Indian authorities during the monsoon season. So these are the particular dates: 15th May to 15th October. Chinese side is going to provide hydrological data to the Indian authorities. Okay, so this is the particularly the provision which has been there for sharing of the water of the Brahmaputra river. What else can be done? A comprehensive treaty can be there. Okay, comprehensive river water treaty should be there for the Brahmaputra river. Just like Indus Water Treaty is there, this is basically only memorandum of understanding which is there. A particular specific treaty, comprehensive treaty should be there, which should include everything from like satellite imagery or technological data. So it should include each and everything. So it should be signed between India, China, and along with that Bangladesh as well, because it is also one of the state which is going to be impacted by it. So basically this thing. So this kind of comprehensive treaty should be signed between these three countries. So this can be written as the way forward. So this is about the rivers on the dams on the river Brahmaputra and how it can impact India. What is the provision of what's the provision already there, and what can be done in the future. Okay, now another issue between the two countries is basically this adverse BOT. BOT, it's balance of trade. India is basically in trade deficit when it comes to like China. Important for us to understand. India is not having very good relations with China, but still this is very surprising as well. India's bilateral trade with China in financial year 24 stood at $118.4 US dollars. 118.4 billion US dollars. So basically the largest trading partner of India is no one else but China only, with which our relations are not good. So this is a kind of, we can say, a contrasting thing or ironical thing which we can say. Okay, so the bilateral trade is this, which and imports have actually increased by 3.24 percentage to 100.17 billion. Like Indian imports have been this much. So basically India is having this much of trade deficit, and exports rose by 8.7%. Yes, definitely exports have risen, but yes, imports have also risen. So at $2.16.67 billion in financial year 24 compared to 23, and with imports from China crossing over $100 billion as well. So which is a kind of, basically India is in a trade deficit when it comes to China. China has overtaken US to become India's largest trading partner after a gap of 2 years in financial year 22 and 23. So basically it was US who was the largest trading partner, but now it's again China to be the major trading partner, first largest trading partner of India. Okay, so India is having this great dependence on China despite the relations not being good. Okay, so India is heavily reliant on China for the critical products such as telecom and smartphone parts, pharmaceuticals, advanced technological components. So basically it is the APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients, यानी कि किसी भी medicine का वो part which is having the therapeutic impact. We are entirely dependent on China for it, which is a matter of concern for India. We should be having those particular industries for these active pharmaceutical ingredients. Okay, so but we are clearly entirely dependent on China for it. then advanced technologies, telecoms. So basically we are dependent on China for all this. Despite India's efforts to bolster them, we are taking efforts. We are having this Make in India, we are having this Atmanirbhar Bharat schemes in order to make India self-reliant. But still, this trade, you can easily see from the numbers how much dependent we are on China. So this is again one of the things. We still remain dependent on external sources, including China, for specifically for the critical defense technology and materials. So basically this is a matter of concern, which is a kind of bilateral, this is also, we can say, a bilateral issue between the two countries because adverse BOT. Okay, so what steps can be taken? Self-reliance is definitely, we are taking the steps, but still we can say that self-reliance should be the main objective when it comes to it, and diversification is something which we can call for. Okay, and another important point we should mention is this API. We should have this much, like, money should be invested in research as well, so that the APIs can be actually formed in India as well. Okay, so this is also an important point. Now, the next thing is talking about BRI, that is Belt and Road Initiative. I know most of you must be aware about it, but yes, let's see. This was earlier called as One Belt, One Road, now called as Belt and Road Initiative. Basically having two parts. One is the Silk Road Economic Belt. So ancient times का जो Silk Road था उसके ऊपर based है ये. So Silk Road and 21st century Maritime Silk Road, which is also there. Okay. So ये दो इसके major components हैं when we so showing you in the map. This yellow one is that particular Silk Road, and this जो सिल्क रोड है वो है, और ये मैरीटाइम सिल्क रूट है जो, दिस इज द ब्लू पोर्शन. ओके, सो दिस इज बेसिकली इन द this region. Now what is, it's a global infrastructure development strategy which has been adopted by Chinese government in 2013, aims to invest in more than 150 countries and international organization. Launched by China to connect Asia with Africa, Europe via land and sea networks. We can easily show in the map, and the map is easy one. You should try to make it as well. This is to improve regional integration, increase commerce and stimulate the economic growth. So these are the reasons for which Belt and Road Initiative has been there. So in interconnectedness increase karna, and definitely this for this region, like connecting the regions of Asia, Africa, Europe. So this has been the initiative by China. Now, why BRI? So objectives, one is to overcome Malacca dilemma. I have already told you about Malacca dilemma, but let's see again in the map. See, let me show you this thing. अब यहाँ पर देखा जाए, this is the region of part है ये, यहाँ पे हम मलेशिया और सिंगापुर हैं यहाँ पे, है ना. So you must be aware about it. यहाँ पे है मलेशिया एंड सिंगापुर. ओके, और इस टाइप यहाँ पे ये जो आइलैंड है, दिस इज द सुमात्रा आइलैंड. ओके, विच इज ऑफ इंडोनेशिया. अब यहाँ पे जो बीच में नैरो स्ट्रेट है ना, दैट इज मलक्का स्ट्रेट. एंड जो चाइना की मोस्ट ऑफ द ट्रेड है ना, वो इस मलक्का स्ट्रेट के थ्रू पास करती है. When it is majority of trade is passing through it, in case in future this Malacca Strait gets choked, this is going to impact China a lot. So that's why, in order to secure itself, in order to have an alternative route so that trade doesn't get impacted, it is having this Belt and Road Initiative. This is also one of the reasons that China has this Belt and Road Initiative. Then is want the participating nations to become interdependent with Chinese economy building. So जिसकी वजह से China is able to build economic and political influence in the region of Asia. Then is to stimulate economies of the country's central provinces. What the case with China is that basically the major cities, they are on the peripheries, like which are the cities basically connected to the sea directly on the peripheries, the cities which are there, they are the most developed ones, whereas the central provinces, they are underdeveloped. So basically this is also to stimulate the economy of the central provinces. Okay, so this is also one of the reasons. Now these are the things that China is basically providing loans so that this interconnectedness takes place. When we look at it, it seems like a good one. Okay, but there are flaws. So why is it being criticized? One is this debt trap diplomacy. Debt trap diplomacy, see, it's this thing कि China is providing loans to the countries, and large sum of loans basically are being provided by China, and the countries are not able to repay it and they are trapped in debt. The same situation with this was something happened with the Sri Lanka as well. An example can be because of which the Sri Lanka has to give on lease the Hambantota port to China for 99 years, basically because it was not able to repay the loan. The same thing is being happening with Pakistan as well. So the countries, so this is saying that there is this fear of debt trap diplomacy. Basically, all the countries are saying this. Definitely China will not agree to it, that it is doing it. But yes, it's being criticized because of this debt trap diplomacy. Then like basically they are indebted by China, and then they become independent, they become dependent on China, and they have to basically, they come under the influence, political influence of China. So this kind of diplomacy is being used by China. Then is the opaque nature of BRI. Some BRI investments have involved opaque bidding processes and require the use of Chinese firms. This is also one of the things. As a result, the contractors have inflated costs, leading to the cancelled projects and political backlash. So these are the reasons that BRI is being criticized. Now, अब बात आ जाती है, so other countries are also criticizing it, but now specifically now why India did not support BRI? Why India doesn't support it? India doesn't support it and has declined to join the project. The major reason is because BRI passes through India as well. From where? From the region of Gilgit-Baltistan. From the region of Gilgit-Baltistan, BRI passes through. So basically the arm of BRI project, which is China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. I have already talked about it a lot many times, but yes, this arm of BRI, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, runs from Kashgar in China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region to Gwadar Port in the Baluchistan in Pakistan, and this is passing through the region of Gilgit-Baltistan. Since it is passing through this region, India considers this region to be the part of India only. So basically it is impacting the territorial integrity of India. Okay, so that's why India is having objections over it. Project entering occupy to the territory of India, Pakistan, occupied by Pakistan, and traverses the entire length of Pakistan from north to south before reaching the Arabian Sea. This is impacting India's territorial integrity. So basically because of this CPEC, that is China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, India is not becoming the part of BRI. Now, since this BRI is there, there are various, since it's this thing ki they are providing low interest loans. China is providing low interest loans and not grants, and because of which the countries are basically getting into the debt trap of China. So this is the thing. Now what are, since the criticism is there to Chinese, there are a lot many countries are having problem with it. So now there has been some responses by the world as well. Basically on the, we can say US is taking this initiative. One is this project B3W, Build Back Better. This was by G7 countries in 2021. Then this partnership for global infrastructure investment, last year only it was the relaunch of Build Back Better only. So this partnership for global infrastructure investment is there, and then another is this Blue Dot Network, which was launched by US, Japan, and Australia in 2019 in the Indo-Pacific Business Forum. These things. So basically, we will talk about these two only. So this is just a relaunch of PGII. It's basically just the relaunch of B3W. These two, PGII and Blue Dot Network, we will be talking about them in the great detail. But till the time, you should remember that these are the various projects which have been launched in response to the Chinese BRI. Okay, so this is all about the Chinese BRI. Okay, so this was about it. Okay, that we have talked about the territorial disputes which is there between India and China. We have talked about the adverse BOT. We have talked about the issue of dams on the Brahmaputra river. We have talked about the BRI. Other things when it comes to China-India bilateral issues, basically that's there China in the Indian Ocean region. We will be talking about it in the great detail. About when China is having an influence on other neighboring countries of India. We have talked about it when it comes, like when we have talked about a particular country, the biggest issue has been China in that particular country, like China in Bangladesh, China in Pakistan, China in Afghanistan. We have talked about that as well in the details. So that is something we have already talked about. There are few more things about China which have been left. We need to know about One China policy. We need to know about the Taiwan crisis which is there. So these are a few more things, and these two projects, PGII, Blue Dot Network, we will be talking about it as well. So in the next class, we'll try to cover the entire topic of India-China relations. So basically more things about China we will be covering about. So this is all for today. Thank you very much. In case of any doubt, do ask me in the comment section, and in case I have said anything wrong, do let me know as well. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much. See you in the next class. Bye bye. Take care.